Hello everyone, today we have new video review, and as you can see, this time we are going to talk about fresh release from Eduard. It's a limited edition kit which is made in 1/48 scale, and as you can see it is named as a Wilde Sau, and this time it's episode 2, and as you can see it's a Saudammerung, so it's dedicated to BF109 in this famous unit. As you remember, previous release was dedicated to BF109 as well, but it was dedicated to a slightly different time period, and you can find its video review on our YouTube channel as well. But this is a completely fresh release. It's actually the July novelty as far as I remember, and kit number is 11148, while previous release was, if I'm not wrong, 11140, so 8 kits apart, and we are having the second release, let's say. But note that it comes as a dual combo in 1/48 scale, which is, I would say, rather surprising, and this kit should give you the ability to copy BF109 G10 and G14 from JG 300 and 301, and of course Yacht Group 300 from 1944-1945. Box size here is typical. Here you can see comparison with my hand. Next, on the side we can see all the marking options which are included into this kit. So do not forget that we get 2 kits in one box, so basically you will be able to copy 2 markings out of this. What is it? 11 marking options, and I would say it's really cool possibility to have in one box. Next, on this side here you will find some safety information and also price of the kit. As you can see, it's $90 US, so pretty much, I would say, reasonable amount. And here, by the way, you can see also some information about the kit. So we have PE parts together with plastic masks for 2 models. There are decals for 11 marking options, as we said before. We also get brass and wheels, and also it is released with in cooperation with Neil Page. As you can see, he was contributing maybe to some marking options. We will see it in assembly manual, but that's a box with a top loading. So here you can see what we have inside. And because this is a dual combo, I guess there is no need to check the same stuff again and again, but we will see. I mean, maybe there are some differences between the parts, because as you remember, this kit offers you a possibility to copy 2 versions of the famous aircraft. But as for the clear parts, as you can see, these are absolutely identical plastic sprues, so that's why I will be showing only one. There is no need to show the same stuff again and again. Just give me a second to take it out of the plastic bag. And here it is. So we have here canopy parts, and let's zoom in. So here you can see them, and these canopy parts look really great. Because this is a limited edition, we get also pre-cut masks in the box, so you will be able to cover them and get a really nice paint work on them without any additional problems. And of course you can copy open cockpit with these parts, because we have separate main section of the canopy. And note that there are also some small things which will go into cockpit as well, because BF109 had some clear parts in the cockpit area. Next, we continue with gray plastic parts, so just give me a second to take them out and we'll check them closer. Okay, so surprisingly we have 3 sprues with wing parts, and I see differences between 2 for sure, and I think I do not see differences between other 2. Okay, so here is the first one. Let's take a look at this one first. And here you can see 2 top halves which are molded together with the wing edges. Whole wing mechanization is molded separately here. And here is the lower wing half. It's the thing where you'll find the main differences. Actually, no, on the top, because I will place one more sprue here, so you can see these bulges on the this part of the wheel wells area. As you can see here, it is different, so that's why we have it supplied on 2 separate frames. And here, by the way, inside you can find that we have really interesting parts design, because we have not only guiding pins but also wing edges. They will help you with the proper alignment of these parts, which is really cool. It will be a thing which will ensure the nice fitment of the parts together. Next, we continue with two fuselage sprues. Actually, I will show them as well, so just give me a second to remove them off the plastic bag. So here I do not see any differences whatsoever, so I guess we can check it just like this. Just give me a second to place it here. And maybe we'll start from the corner so that we don't have to zoom out, because here you can see landing gear, wheels, tires, which will not be needed. Here you can see fuselage half, and note that it is molded together with the tail section, but without tail fin, which will have to be installed separately. Next, also cooling area, this top panel, it is molded separately. Here you can see also propeller. Here we have parts for the tail fin, and also another fuselage half, obviously. Let's flip it over. Inside you'll find guiding elements for the cockpit and for both halves, so that's also a good thing. And of course, these air intakes, they have to be assembled out of two halves, so be careful in this area, because otherwise it will be visible, because this air intake is placed right on the cooling area, and I mean, it's really difficult to hide any mistakes in this spot. Next, we continue with another plastic bag. So here we have two plastic bags with large gray plastic sprues, and obviously they're identical, so I will show you only one, and we will move on to other bonuses in this set. Okay, just give me a second. So here we start with relatively large plastic sprue. You can see that we have mix of various parts. It's wing mechanization parts, also tail surfaces, external fuel tank, and all this stuff is here. Molding quality seems to be nice, so I don't have any things to complain, because I'm a bit confused because I'm looking at the next sprue, and here we have some parts which will not be used for sure, and it means they will go into your spare parts. I will show them now so that you can understand what I'm talking about. So, for example, here we have three propellers, three versions of the propeller, and as you can guess, you won't have to use them all, and two extra propellers will go into your spare parts. The same applies to these landing gear wheels. As you can see, there is a huge choice of various versions, and they're really nice ones, so they might be handy for some scratch building in 1/48 scale. By the way, here you can see cockpit floor. Maybe I will zoom in so that you can see this area at least, because other parts are quite large enough to understand what you get, but here you can see these cockpit parts, two types of the instrument panel, which is also a handy feature because plain part will be useful for the P on this thing. Okay, next we continue with bonuses. As you remember, we have resin parts included, and here we have really nice offering, because you will see why in a second. Just give me moment. So we have two pairs of main wheels, and maybe I'll zoom in as much as I can so that you can see this main wheel. I will show only one because obviously they're absolutely identical. Just take a look at these details. I mean, they look really impressive. This is a 1/48 scale part, and it's just a bit bigger than my fingertip, but still it has a lot of features copied, so it really deserves a careful painting and weathering in order to bring out all these features. We also have these parts. Frankly speaking, I'm not sure where they will go. I guess these are brake drums, maybe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we will see it also in assembly manual, so no worries. Next, we continue with P frets. So here we have two separate P frets, because you will be able to copy one BF109 G10 and one BF109 G14, and it will actually influence the color of the instrument panel and also some other cockpit parts, seat belts for example, and I can show them actually together. I took out one out of the plastic bag, so here you can see them together. And this is a typical Eduard product, so there is nothing to worry about. And I guess on the dials, yes, we do have the glazing on the dials. Here you can see it. So that's also quite a handy feature which will help you copy the glass on the instrument panel dials. Next we continue with mask sheet, and here we have masks not only for the canopy but also for landing gear wheels, which is also a welcome feature because, as you remember, landing gear wheels, they were casted as a single piece part, so definitely you will have to use these masks in order to get a nice paintwork, and that's why it's cool to see it included out of the box. Next we have one more plastic bag. Just give me a second to open it as well, and I'll show them to you. Decals. So as for decals, we have large, let's say, main decals sheet. Here it is. Let's move it here, close the lenses a bit, maybe even more, zoom out. And here you can see the symbols. So here we have all main symbols for 11 marking options, as you remember. Note that we also get decals for the cockpit, so in case you're not fan of PE parts, you can use these decals and you will have at least some features copied in your aircraft model. But that's not all, we also have stencils. It would be strange not to get them in 1/48 scale kit. So here you can see them. And they're really nice. By the way, note the printing date, it's 2014. I guess it's not the printing date, it's the date when this decal sheet was designed, but still it is quite impressive. Almost, well, it's not almost, it's more than 5 years ago. So here we continue with assembly manual. It comes in form of large brochure. As you can see, it's a color printed brochure. Next we continue with the history note, which is, well, I would say, quite extensive in comparison with what we are used to see in plastic kits. Here is the same article in Czech language. Next we continue with the parts map, and blue color actually shows you which parts will not be used. By the way, note that we start with the G10 version. As you can see, assembly begins with the cockpit parts, and next you can see fuselage halves joined together. We continue with air intake and tail surfaces. Here we assemble wing parts and wing mechanization air intakes, which will be also used in some PE parts. Here you can see our landing gear assembly, so we are using resin parts here, just to remind you. Next we continue with canopy parts and some final steps. It means the fuel tank, or maybe also antenna. I guess it was not used on G10, but we also have masks application guide here. Next we continue with a G14 guide, so here you can see it. Again, pretty much the same assembly sequence, so we are not going to discuss it in detail. You can see it with your own eyes. If you would like to focus on one of the steps, just pause the video, and I think image will be quite sharp enough in order to see what is happening on this or that step. But all the main steps, as I said before, are pretty much the same. And here we start with the marking guide, which is printed in color. So we have first marking option from September 1944. Second aircraft is also from the same time span. Here we continue with October 1944 and December 1944. This mottled camouflage looks quite nice. Here is December 1944 and another aircraft from the same time. May 1945, green aircraft, quite interesting camouflage. Another one from May 1945. I guess all other marking options will be from May 1945, May as well. And here's one more. It's aircraft from early 1945. We also have stenciling guide because, as you remember, we have a lot of stencils to apply on aircraft. As you can see, that's for G14. This one is for G10. So all in all, we get a really attractive limited edition from Eduard, which will give you a chance to assemble two famous aircraft in different versions. Of course, I will be happy to hear your opinion about this release. Do not forget to write it here in the comment section below. If you like this video, press the like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I will see you in the next video review as usual. Thank you for joining me today, and bye!